Hey, hey, welcome back. Welcome in, everyone. It is Laura from Tenacious Taurus Tarot and Astro Insights, and I really felt the pull. I felt the call to jump on and to dig into the Twin Flame Collective. We've got the Spring Equinox portal today, and I don't know about the rest of you out there, Divine Feminine, but when I was activated on this Twin Flame mission back in 2019, I had no idea just how big this mission was going to be. And so sometimes it's very difficult, I want to say, to navigate this deep spiritual journey, this deep spiritual process. And we're kind of set apart from people in a lot of ways on this journey. And it can feel very isolating, right? A Kundalini awakening and a twin flame mission. Let me tell you, it shifts your energy so profoundly that oftentimes you don't resonate with most of the same people in your lives that you were connected to, or maybe they don't resonate with you. And I know when you do carry a very strong divine feminine frequency, or essence, it does trigger a lot of unconscious wounds in others, especially if they're not ready to face their shadows. And so, as we're coming out of winter and we're stepping into the spring equinox energy, we're stepping into a whole new season. I do feel there's a shift, right? And so, if you find yourself on a similar path, I just want to say it's not about you personally, right? The divine feminine holds an energy frequency that activates others on their journey. And so it activates patterns being recognized. And there's going to be people that drift in, there's going to be people that drift away. And so sometimes it kind of feels that there's an invisible wall kind of keeping you at a distance from certain people. And so let's just kind of see what needs to come through. Oh my goodness, I haven't used this deck in a while, the Panther energy. And so fire. There's a fire quality element coming through with the Panther card on the bottom of the deck. And I always talk about the bottom of the deck in my readings. And this is the energy of kind of what is below the surface, what we don't see happening. And so for me, the Panther animal spirit is a deeply sacred one, right? And I do feel this really is a necessary purging. It is a state of catharsis for me. The Panther does represent cathartic release. And I know that's what I went into last night. A huge, massive cathartic release, kind of questioning, again, this whole awakening experience. And I do feel there was a refining of my energy. That's really what it felt like. And so let me just tell you, this is such a lonely path that the divine feminine walks, but it's such a deeply sacred path, right? And it is a path of releasing. It's a path of closing out karmic relationship cycles. It's definitely a path where it can be very heartbreaking, right? But it does open up the realization of who you are meant to be. And so maybe this reading will help us all kind of understand what this is all about, what this shared mission is all about, the dreams, the potential of the twins and what could have been, maybe what could still be. But ultimately, I do feel this is a journey that cuts really deep, right? It's a journey filled with betrayal. It's a journey filled with loss, and it's a journey filled with purpose, light, and mission. And so right now, I just feel this Panther energy. I want to say this Panther energy. I want to look at that turtle below that. Slow and steady. Slow and steady wins the race. But I feel right now there could be basically this energy, I want to say, of setting that ultimate intention. This is a new moon eclipse. And so new moons are for setting intentions. Eclipses are for kind of going with the flow, because eclipses kind of eclipse something out of your life. And so there could be something very uncomfortable being purged, especially when it comes to the devastation of the separation. But we do have to remember, after the dust settles, we have that wisdom, right? The Panther does have wisdom energy. And so whatever experience you've been through on your own personal journey, it does lead you to a brighter place. And I think that is the message connected to the equinox portal, is it leads us to a brighter place. The days are getting longer. The air is getting warmer and fresher out there. So let's dig in first. Let's see what's on the way for this twin flame journey. What energies are aligning for the twins? Let's dig into an animal spirit for the divine masculine first. And we get the beaver card. So that's so interesting. I'm actually located in Canada, and the beaver is an animal definitely connected to Canadian territories. What is the animal spirit for the divine feminine that needs to come through for this eclipse energy, or eclipse. Not the eclipse, definitely not the eclipse, but we are leading into that eclipse for the equinox. Pardon me, the equinox. And look at that, we do get the butterfly. So that's really what it felt like, right? And so the feminine goes through this deep experience of being put in the chrysalis and transforming, right? And so the feminine, I feel, is on the precipice of a major transformation. The bottom of the deck, I'm going to call this the combined energies for the counterparts, and we get the eagle. So I'm probably not going to tell the story right, but the story of the eagle is after about 40 years, the eagle has to go through a very intense physical and painful transformation if they are to rise, right? If they are to live another 40 years. And so what I feel here is, look at the beautiful energy of the sun, which is the representation of our vitality. And I did notice 555 on the timer as I said that. And so the eagle usually flies solo, right? The ego usually is a very isolated animal, and they usually live a journey on their own, a journey of solitude. And what I want to say is, this journey of solitude really does prepare both of the twins for something so much bigger, even if it doesn't feel that way in the moment of solitude. But the eagle has to go through a transformation where after about 40 years, its beak and its talons become so long that that they have to kind of rip their talons out. They got to rip, they've got to smash their beak against basically a wall, or like a rock, and they have to regrow all of that. And so this really is a journey of isolation. It's a journey of transformation. And I feel right now the beaver to me is saying there's some hard work ahead for the divine masculine, and the butterfly is saying the feminine is about to rise. I feel the feminine really is in this energy of needing to spread her wings. So basically the divine feminine here is undergoing some type of significant change, right? The butterfly represents transformation, a great transformation. And so I feel a lot of the divine feminines in the collective are going through a period of transition. I do feel the air element coming through. And so the butterfly for me, I want to say, is definitely representing a change within relationships. And that's what we do, right? And so we have to change our whole life. Usually we lose our job that we've had forever, or a career. We transition out of certain groups of friends. And this transition usually is met with a lot of discomfort, right? Because change isn't easy. Let's face it. Change is hard. Change isn't easy. But I feel we're coming out the other side of this discomforting transformation, right? The feminine has to be extra patient. She really does. She has to be extra patient with herself, with the counterpart. And so maybe the feminine is reaching a point where she's finally going to ground in those solid friendships. This could be social activities that support the commitment to the mission coming through. And maybe this really is about committing to a daily spiritual practice, or a daily spiritual routine that is one that is uplifting other people, I heard. And so right now I feel the feminine, though, is feeling a little bit frustrated, maybe even a little bit fragile. But it's kind of time to lift your wings. It's time to spread your wings and to bring everything back into balance. I feel you do need that daily routine. So I think when the feminine's imbalanced energy, she's cheerful, she's graceful, she performs acts of service, right? And when you're out of balance, it can create a lot of frustration, right? So I just feel really hone in on your daily routine here, your daily spiritual routine. And I do feel like the beaver energy, I just think of like working tirelessly, right? Beavers work hard to build dams. And what I want to say is the beaver is an energy of putting family first. And a lot of the masculines, I feel, are needing to welcome that back into their life, the energy of putting family first. Beavers naturally are very good natured, and they are usually very dependable, hard-working creatures. What I just heard was infinite love. And so maybe the masculine is tapping into a new expression of love during this portal that we are going into connected to the equinox. And so I just want to say there's like a lack of initiation, though, almost like the masculine is not the one to initiate the mission or initiate a project. That is the feminine, I feel. But once the project or the mission has been initiated, then the masculine is going to come forward, right? And so this really is about a mission. It's so much more than a romantic relationship. And I say that all the time. And so something about karma, I feel this is signifying some type of karma connected to the divine masculine. And they are kind of being asked to step into selfless acts of service alongside the feminine, right? And so when the masculine is aligned and in balance, he exudes happiness, he exudes joy. And that means that he's doing some type of meaningful work, right? And so we are shifting from third dimensional reality to fifth dimensional reality, and it is an energy of service. And so I do feel maybe the masculine is in like a career cycle or in a karmic relationship cycle where he's feeling worn out, maybe he's feeling useless, and maybe he's tried to climb the physical ladder in a career that really isn't serving his path anymore, and the karma energy is saying it's time for selfless service, right? And then the combined energy, I want to say, is this eagle. And so, like I said, the eagle goes through major transformation. And so the eagle also is not afraid to step into the unknown. And so right now there's a very powerful energy, I think, surrounding both of the twins. And this is an energy, I feel, of transforming the karma between the twins and in the collective. And so we are here to be those truth seekers. The twins hold a very sacred mission of truth seeking, truth speaking, and this is both physically and spiritually, right? And we have to have mastery over the fifth dimensional world. And I do feel more fiery energy here. And so there's like, I want to say there's a karmic fire surrounding the twins. And this is an energy of burning through the karma for the sake of this transformation journey. And so when the twins are aligned and in union, they carry this very bright, radiant frequency. And when the twins come together in union, that frequency does challenge the status quo of societal expectations. And so there's something here that I feel is out of control or cannot be controlled by either one of the counterparts. And I think both of the counterparts are kind of just being asked to step into the unknown. So let's go a little bit further. We'll put this eagle out of the way. We'll put the eagle. I just heard unknown. I forget what card I just saw here kind of flip out. Oh, it's the unicorn card. But what I saw was the words unknown. And so there's something very spiritual surrounding the counterparts right now. But let's go a little bit further into the divine masculine's energy first. We're going to use the Tarot of Dreams deck. And let's see if we can dig in and get a little bit more information about this beaver energy. What is this hard work all about? Okay, we get the world. I've got chills like crazy all going down the left side of my face and my body. What else needs to come through to clarify this beaver energy for the divine masculine? Oh, the Ten of Wands, the world, the Ten of Wands, and there's that release of the working too hard. And the Ace of Wands, I love it. So tens are completions. Tens are endings. And look at that. We get the devil on the bottom of the deck. So the divine masculine really is closing out a very significant karmic portal connected to addictions, codependencies, temptations, I want to say. And so we did just kind of complete, like Pluto has not been in Aquarius, solidly in Aquarius for that long now. And we did have Pluto transiting through Capricorn for about the last 16 years or so. So for me, that's about when the journey really took flight, unbeknownst to me until that spontaneous awakening was when Pluto shifted from Sagittarius into Capricorn. That was about the time that my parents got divorced, and I went through many years and cycles of addiction myself as a coping mechanism. And so both of the twins are also here to clear away addictions and to heal family karma, and to feel it, to heal it, and to close out ancestral patterns, right? And so right now I feel a lot of the masculines might even be feeling like a sacred clown. They've been all caged up in a codependent situation. It could be addictions, it could be a trauma bond that they've been in, but it's like the devil has had a grip on the masculines for quite some time, is what I want to say. And maybe it is an addiction of overworking because of that beaver energy. And then we get the sun. And so there's that vitality energy, right? The sun is moving into Aries today. That is the masculine principle. The sun does represent the divine masculine, which is why I chose this card holder for the masculine. He is the sun. He is the vitality of the connection. And the feminine is the gravitational pull. And so we've got Leo energy coming through. So you could be dealing with a masculine with prominent Leo in their chart. But really this, to me, we see the sundial, and I know it's not a compass, but I feel there's like a reorientation of the karmic pathway for the masculine, or there's some type of an illumination coming through, connected to a pattern or codependency or trauma bond that needs to kind of be cut out. And I do feel this is the feminine kind of lighting the way, being that truth speaker. A lot of the feminines have to step into their mission and be that truth speaker. And so Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, and I do feel there's some type of really strong indication of the feminine kind of lighting the way, lighting the path, showing the masculine what needs to be released. So basically, in context to this spring equinox portal, which is a time of renewal, I do feel there's a major ending here, right? All endings lead to new beginnings. I say it all the time. And so there's a very Saturnian theme I feel playing out here, right? We've got Saturn in Sagittarius, which is the 10 of Wands energy. We get also Saturn connected to the World card. And so what I want to say is there's a big emphasis during this portal energy of karmic completion, of laying down a burden and a lesson that finally must kind of, it must be integrated before we can start this new cycle of passion. And I just feel this really is speaking to a major cycle of addictions that the masculine has been connected to for a super long time. I just feel like a really, really long karmic cycle is wrapping up, winter wrap up. And maybe this is a cycle that has kind of been plaguing the masculine collective since that transit of Pluto in Capricorn for maybe about the last 16 years or so. And so there is a major cycle here coming to a close. And I do feel the masculine really is feeling that weight of the responsibility, of the pressure and the exhaustion. It's like that final push. And I know the masculine usually doesn't give birth, but it's that final labor push is what I want to say, that final push before the release. And so there is fire energy breaking through here, though, as the masculine puts down the weight of the old and kind of emerges into the new cycle. And so right now I feel the masculine is kind of at a very pivotal reset point, a balancing point where all of the darkness and the light become equal before the growth of the spring season can kind of take over. And so I think there's a lot of mirroring going on for the divine masculine's journey, completing this lesson. They are being handed like a gift from the divine, a new beginning. But what they do with this fire energy is really crucial, right? It's up to the divine masculine to move forward with purpose. But, what we see on the bottom of the deck is there is a possibility of repeating the old cycles. And so they're kind of embracing what I want to say is a test of their personal will. Saturn lessons don't just go away. They don't just vanish because a cycle ends. They have to be integrated. They have to be fully embraced before the twins can go in to this new cycle. And with this Capricornian energy connected to the devil, I do feel there's a lot of temptations surrounding the masculine. There could be an external attachment with another person here connected to a karmic pattern of power and control dynamics. This really is the shadow, I feel, that the divine masculine is confronting, whether it's ego or addictions or fears or, like I said, a toxic attachment. And I think the question here really is, Are they going to stay bound to the past, or are they going to break free? Because ultimately we do have free will on the journey. And this is saying there is illumination, right? There's truth, right? There's truth here with this Queen of Swords. There's truth. The Queen of Swords does represent authenticity. And so I do feel there's a breakthrough here that is happening. But the masculine is also going to have to burn through the illusions. They're going to have to confront their shadow. They're going to have to confront it right now. But the light is kind of coming in, right? The light is coming in. The light is shining in. And it is exposing maybe a catalyst, soul connection, or illusions, or a false foundation, a false attachment. And it really is kind of pushing them towards that clarity, right? It's pushing them towards that clarity. But ultimately, I think the big question is, like, are they ready? Are they ready to step into the light? And we don't get to decide that, right? So we're going to leave the devil and the sun here connected to the masculine's energy. We're going to set that aside. And we're going to dig into the divine feminine now. We're going to clarify this butterfly card. And we're going to see what that all entails for the divine feminine. So what are the energies? Oh, we're going to flip it around. So I don't know if something's getting flipped around, or karma's getting flipped around, or getting made right. I'm just making a mess of everything. So things might feel a little bit messy for you, divine feminine. But let's see about going a little bit further with the butterfly energy for the divine feminine with this equinox portal energy. Well, we get the Three of Wands. That's about a manifestation, I feel. So there's a manifestation coming forward for you, divine feminine, with the Three of Wands as the sun shifts into Aries. As you can see on the card, I'll show you up close here. We do have the energy of the sun in Aries. And so I just feel like this has been a long time coming. I don't know if the last 3 years has really been a struggle. We get the Hanged Man. So we are actually shifting from Pisces into Aries energy. And we do have, I believe, the sun in a conjunction to Neptune. As I'm recording this, I'm recording it a day early. The sun in a conjunction to Neptune, I believe, at that 29th degree. And that is the completion of a cycle, right? So I just feel a major perspective shift is coming in for the feminine. And then we get the Judgment card. And if that doesn't scream awakening or rebirth, I really don't know what does. And then we get the Emperor card. Holy cow. This is a big message of receiving the manifestation, I want to say, of the divine union, of the divine counterpart. That is what is happening during this equinox portal. And so I just feel like a Jesus consciousness. I also feel a soul retrieval energy. We've got that Pluto energy. We are going to have the sun in a sextile to Pluto just a few days after its transition into Aries. And so that's pretty interesting. And so I just feel visions. You're coming into visions. You are receiving the twin flame union. That is what this portal is all about. And so we are still in Venus retrograde. And this is a Venus retrograde in the sign of Aries. And as we see on this Four of Wands card, it is the Venus in Aries energy. And so Aries energy, again, this is the rise of the masculine. And I do think this is coming in very quickly. Very quickly. I think the masculine is coming in very quickly after maybe years of ghosting, years of abandonment. And this is coming in like right now. The Tower is imminent. And I noticed the timer just went to 23, which is the energy of the King of Wands. And so this Tower is imminent, divine feminine. I don't think you're going to see this coming. And so what you need to do, what the bottom of the deck is telling you, is to unblock your heart. Get ready to receive the counterpart. I really want to say that. Get ready to receive the counterpart. I do think that's a big message here coming through for the divine feminine, especially with that Emperor and that Four of Wands on the bottom of the deck, because that is what you don't see coming. And so you, I feel, are completing the process of soul retrieval. I do think that's what's happening here for the feminine in these energies today. This basically is a portal of receiving. I do feel this really is telling a very profound story. It's bringing forward a profound message of alignment for the divine feminine. You're kind of moving through this very powerful portal of rebirth, more aligned. And so you might feel the anticipation or the waiting of receiving. There's something here that's been long set in motion for you, divine feminine, that is finally arriving. And I do feel you're kind of standing at the edge of a brand new cycle. You're feeling the shift, but you're maybe not feeling the full manifestation of it yet. And so maybe this equinox portal is like a pause or a surrender to gain that new perception. I do feel this is a period of deep introspection, right? The feminine goes through a period of deep introspection, right? Before the feminine becomes the butterfly, she's in the cocoon. And we got to learn patience. We got to learn trusting in divine timing. And we've got to learn to release control, right? As things kind of unfold according to divine will. And so the feminine gets tested with her faith, not just in the universe, but basically in your own inner knowing. And so this really is the full realization, I feel, of your awakening coming full circle. This equinox, I feel, is acting as like the trumpet energy of the rebirth. There also could be a karmic reckoning here as you kind of fully align with your mission and your destiny. And so whatever has been lying dormant, I feel, is about to be resurrected. I feel like a resurrection. It's like you, divine feminine, are stepping into your highest calling. You're shedding all of these past versions of yourself as you embrace this new reality. And so there's a big balancing here. I do feel there is a very grounded, structured, divine masculine energy stepping into the place of leadership with you. This could basically be your manifestation. I think the manifestation does involve your divine masculine counterpart stepping up in a way that you have never seen before. This really confirms it, right? The Four of Wands confirms it. This is a celebration. This is a union. This is basically what I want to say is like a soul level homecoming. That's really what I want to say. This is 1111 energy. It really is. And so you're walking through a portal of manifestation that I think is about to kind of solidify in the physical reality. This is also the expression of you deepening your inner union energy of self, balancing the divine feminine and the inner masculine energies, which is creating that external shift in this connection with your divine counterpart. And so there is going to be something unexpected coming through. It's like cutting through stagnation, cutting through separation, cutting through abandonment. So if you've been feeling lonely, if you've been feeling left out and left out in the cold, the masculine is also in deep reflection, I think, about this loss and the regret and the sense of lack regarding you too, divine feminine. And so there's going to be sudden upheaval. That's what I'm feeling. There's going to be sudden upheaval. This is breaking through illusions. I feel this energy of divine intervention. There's going to be a major shakeup, right? That comes in at lightning speed. And you see the light shining down on this tower. You see the lightning. It is Mars energy. We do have Mars still in its post-retrograde energy. It's in Cancer. And so a lot of the masculines have been going into that little Cancer shell there and reflecting. And I do feel this really is signalizing that beneath it all, the masculine has been building himself up in silence during that Mars retrograde and in the post retrograde energy. And this does suggest, I want to say, this triggering energy of this urgent desire of the masculine coming forward and reaching out. This, I feel, is the moment of time where probably communication is going to come out of nowhere. They could finally, at long last, break that long period of silence or ghosting. And this can be a shock, divine feminine. This could be a confession of feelings that they've held back. This can be an apology or an acknowledgement of the past mistakes, especially with that Five of Pentacles energy. I want to say, especially with that Five of Pentacles energy, there's just basically unexpected changes here. And so I just feel this is bringing forth a long-awaited manifestation. That's what this portal is bringing forth. And it is going to lead to a deepening of this union energy. I think there's going to be unexpected communication from the masculine. I do think that's imminent. I really do with that tower. I think the tower is triggering a shakeup of the divine masculine's reality as well, which is kind of forcing him to need to take that action towards the feminine. And so right now, I want to say, divine feminine, you are being called to stand in your power. Are you ready to receive this connection without fear? Are you ready to trust that what you have been preparing for is now about to arrive? So really sit with that, because I do think it is just around the corner and the feminine needs to get prepared to receive that manifestation.